Right, let's just dive right into it. Picture this for a second. You're standing at the pharmacy counter, or maybe, you're at the front desk of your doctor's office. You reach into your wallet and nothing. Your Virginia Medicaid card is gone. It's an incredibly stressful moment. You urgently need care or a vital prescription, and suddenly that little piece of plastic feels like the most important thing in the world. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to completely demystify exactly how to get a replacement Medicaid card in Virginia, taking all the stress right out of the equation.
I mean, it's so easy to just completely panic when you realize you've lost your health card. Whether it fell out of your pocket, got tossed in the trash by mistake, or worst case was stolen, that sinking feeling, it's universally relatable. It literally feels like your access to healthcare just vanished into thin air. But while researching this, I found out something incredibly reassuring.
Here's the absolutely crucial point to remember. Your physical card is, well, it's really just a piece of plastic. Think of it like a key. The actual door to your healthcare, your active coverage, that remains completely intact in the state system. Losing the physical card does absolutely nothing to your eligibility or your active status. You're still covered. And as we're going to see, you can still get the exact care you need even while you're waiting for a brand new one. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the Virginia Medicaid card itself, then jump into the online replacement request steps, followed by phone and local requests. After that, we'll look at processing times and troubleshooting, hit on some special cases and considerations, and finally wrap up with best practices and a quick disclaimer. All right, Section 1, the Virginia Medicaid card. Now, before we actually replace it, let's establish what this card really represents. Right now, over 2 million Virginians rely on this program. It's essentially a handshake between you and your healthcare providers, making sure you get seamless access to crucial benefits. We're talking routine doctor's visits, preventative care, and emergency services. It is quite literally your ticket to peace of mind. You know that if something goes wrong, you are medically and financially protected. But there's an absolutely huge distinction to make between your cards, because trust me, this causes a ton of confusion. In Virginia, you actually get a primary blue and white Commonwealth of Virginia Medicaid card, and that's issued directly by the state. But since most care is delivered through managed care organizations, or MCOs, you'll also get a card from a specific health plan, like Anthem, Aetna, or United Healthcare. Here's the kicker. If you lose that primary state card, you have to go through the state to replace it, not your health plan. Figuring out which card you're actually holding or missing is half the battle right there. Moving on to Section 2, online replacement request steps. Okay, if you want to skip the phone queues and handle this right now, the digital self-service route is going to be your best friend. Here's exactly how it works. First, head over to commonhelp.virginia.gov. This is Virginia's 24/7 web portal. Once you're there, just click on Check My Benefits. Now, to actually link your account, you're going to need 2 specific pieces of information, your case number and your 12-digit member ID. You're probably thinking, wait, where do I find those if my card is lost? Great question. You can easily grab both of those numbers right off the physical notice of action approval letter or basically any paper renewal forms that the Department of Social Services mailed to your house. Once you've linked the account, you just follow the prompts and request that replacement. Next up, Section 3, phone and local requests. Now, if online portals really aren't your thing, no worries. You can contact the Department of Medical Assistance Services, or DMAS, via the Cover Virginia call center directly. That number is 1-855-242-8282. And for TTY users, you'll dial 1-888-221-1590. You do need to know their hours, though. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Just a quick heads up, they recently dropped their Saturday shifts, so make sure you plan to call during the work week. Alternatively, a lot of local Department of Social Services offices in places like Spotsylvania, Rehoboth, Goochland, and Suffolk maintain these highly secure 24/7 drop boxes right outside their main entrances where you can literally just drop off a written request. All right, let's get into Section 4, processing times and troubleshooting. Okay, so you've submitted your request. What happens next? Well, 10. 10 is the magic number here. You should expect a standard 10 business day waiting period for a replacement card to be processed and physically show up in your mailbox. And just to understand why it actually takes those 10 days, let's peek at the back-end administrative workflow. When you make a request, your local caseworker can't just hit print and hand you a card at their desk. That request actually has to be entered into the Virginia Case Management System, or VAS CMS. Then, that system verifies your active status and sends a print command over to the Centralized Medicaid Management Information System, MMIS.
Only after all that does the card get batched, printed at a central facility, and finally mailed out to you. So yeah, it's a pretty complex, secure data process happening behind the scenes.
But listen, here is a massive warning, a common pitfall that catches so many people completely off guard. If you've moved recently and you haven't told the state, the post office is going to return your new card. And when mail gets returned, the state basically assumes you no longer live there, and your entire Medicaid case could be automatically closed. No joke. So please absolutely always report address changes to DMAS, Cover Virginia, or Common Help immediately.
Now for Section 5, Special Cases and Considerations.
Now, your specific situation might have a few unique nuances when it comes to eligibility. Virginia Medicaid covers a really broad range of folks: low-income children, pregnant women, older adults, people with disabilities, and qualified non-citizens. Plus, there are specific pathways for minors, folks under guardianship, or even limited coverage for incarcerated individuals. The system is huge, but here's the good news. Regardless of which exact category you fall into, the replacement steps we just walked through completely apply to you. And this brings us to what is perhaps the single most important takeaway of this entire explainer. You absolutely do not have to wait 10 business days to get medical care. If you have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, you can just use the enrollee ID number found right there on your official Notice of Action letter. Providers have access to a web portal and automated phone systems where they can instantly verify your active enrollment using just that one number. So your care doesn't stop just because your plastic card is stuck in the mail. Oh, and here's a super practical troubleshooting tip for you. Sometimes you might hand your managed care organization card, like, say, your Anthem or Centara card, to the pharmacist, and it just gets rejected. If that happens and you've recently requested a replacement primary card, just tell the pharmacist to run the claim under straight Medicaid, using your primary Virginia Medicaid ID number. Honestly, using that simple phrase often clears up the whole billing confusion right there at the counter. Bringing us to Section 6, Best Practices and Disclaimer. All right, so once that shiny new card arrives, we definitely want to keep it safe. Safeguarding your new card is absolutely critical. You really need to treat it just like a credit card or your driver's license. Keep it totally secure and never, ever lend it out to anyone else. Fraudulent use of this card is a huge deal and can actually result in criminal prosecution and losing your benefits altogether. And as a general best practice, always carry your state blue and white card alongside your specific MCO health plan card to all your medical appointments. It just ensures seamless billing every single time. Now, as always, I do need to remind you that this explainer is strictly for informational purposes. While we really strive to make these processes incredibly clear and structured for you, you should always consult official state resources like DMAS, Cover Virginia, or your local Department of Social Services for personalized guidance on your specific case. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We've solved the crisis of the lost card, right? You know the exact steps to replace it, the timeline, and how to make sure you get care in the meantime. But having the physical card is really just step one. The real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know how to replace your card, are you maximizing all the incredible benefits it actually unlocks for your health? From preventative care to fitness programs, there is just so much to explore. Stay engaged with your healthcare, keep learning, and make the most of it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.